Hey, I'm Noah from Extreme Terrain, and today we're talking to Uli about his Toyota Tacoma. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to talk to you about your ride for a little bit. So just for those people at home, he has a 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR with 17 by 8.5 Dirty Life cages in matte black with a -6mm offset, and that's going to make this truck have an aggressive stance. For tires, he's got a 285/70 R17 33-inch Falken Wild Peak AT3W AT, and then for suspension, he has a Rough Country 3-inch suspension lift with the lifted N3 struts and the Rough Country forged upper control arms for the 3.5-inch lift. Why did you choose a setup like this?
Honestly, the stance, how it looks, that's a lot of people's first compliment about my truck is how it looks. But I also really like the way it performs and that it allowed me to stay within the budget of not going full out scale, buying kinks and stuff. So I'm still within the budget of the means I wanted to build this truck with.
Now, are you using this truck as a daily, or is it just kind of something you do on the weekends?
So this truck honestly sees it all. It sees roads, highways, mountains, dirt roads, fire roads. It sees it all. So it's kind of like an all-purpose built vehicle. It's good on-road and it has good off-road characteristics.
Let's start with the wheels here. So you have the 17 by 8.5 Dirty Life cages in matte black with the -6mm offset. And that means we're looking at an aggressive stance. Do you have any particular reason why you chose these wheels?
When I bought the lift and the tires at the same time, and I was still running stock wheels. From hours of research, I concluded that the best offset for Tacomas ranges between 0 offset and -12 for wheels. I couldn't really drive my truck while I got it lifted with the stock wheels because it would just rub on control arms and it was just a mess. So it was kind of like an emergency to get these wheels sorted. And I went with 17 by 8.5.
Why did you choose black?
I'm glad I went with black. I like the way the blacked out looks.
So that 8.5-inch wheel with the -6mm offset does give the truck an aggressive stance. Why did you go with this size or offset? Like, I know you mentioned earlier it was to keep things from rubbing because the stock tires did, but can you go in depth a little bit more about that offset and why you chose this particular size and offset?
My truck specifically has no over fenders. So a -6 offset is enough to get the wheels to poke out, like if I had a -12 or -14 offset, like some guys are running out there. So for me, -6 worked out perfectly. And like I've mentioned before, 0 to -12 is the ideal offset to keep your Tacoma from needing a calf mount chop or any trimming on the inner fenders. So my truck has no trimming, no chops of any kind. It's just wheels, honestly, just doing the math and looking at forums, seeing what fits.
So you'd say you'd like the stance this way over the stock stance, like you're happy with how it sits?
Definitely this look is a keeper.
Another question here is, are you happy with the sidewall size with a 17-inch wheel and a 33-inch tire?
Definitely, I'm more of a small wheel kind of guy. I don't like having big 20s or 22s on a truck. I think the more sidewall, the better, because it keeps those wheels nice and protected from rocks, and it allows you to air down a little bit more on the trails. So definitely the sidewall, at least for the tire I'm running, is super strong, super durable, and it's handled everything I've thrown at it. So I'm definitely a big sidewall kind of guy.
Speaking of sidewalls, we can move on to the tires. You've got a 285/70 R17 Falken Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain 33-inch tire. Now, why did you choose this tire in particular?
So obviously the way it looks great for an all-terrain. It has that nice hybrid look between an all-terrain and a mud terrain, kind of like the Ridge Grappler does. It's a nice in-between without sacrificing gas mileage or some road noise. These things are quiet on the highway. They are silent. Like, I could put my music as low as possible and I'll still hear just fine, no tire noise. And definitely they're one of the best all-terrains out there on the market right now. They'll handle anything you throw at it. Mud, sand, road, snow.
Do you have a particular reason why you went with a Falken tire? Like, is that your tire brand of choice, or?
I like to stand out. I know it's hard to stand out when your truck is all black, but a lot of people are running the BF Goodriches and Goodyears and Nitto, and not a lot of people give Falken much love. I'm in that boat of being different, and also it's the first tire I saw, and I really fell in love with the tread pattern, especially for the price, because they're not too pricey as much such as the Goodyear Duratrax or the KO2s.
What made you go with a 33-inch tire?
Definitely running 35s is out of the question unless you want to re-gear your truck, which I don't have the funds for right now. So 33 is sort of that nice in the middle between having a bigger tire than the stock 31, but also not having some of the sacrifices the 35 has. And it's also easier to fit with a less invasive lift.
So is there a reason you went with an all-terrain tire over just a mud-terrain tire? Like you said you wanted that hybrid. Is that because you just didn't want to sacrifice that road noise?
So to me, I couldn't really warrant a mud terrain or a full build truck because I don't go off-road every day. So definitely the daily characteristics of it are super important to me, and a mud terrain would just be too loud and would give me horrible gas mileage. And these things, they're good for the price I paid for them. They're super good on road, super good on gas. Like I said, minimal road noise. Although down the line, I might upgrade to a mud terrain for the look because you can't beat the look of a mud terrain.
Did you need to recalibrate anything as far as speedometer goes? Do you feel any more sluggish, just like it doesn't want to go when you put your foot down because of those larger tires?
So with the larger diameter, there will always be a little bit more sluggishness. That's just math. But in terms of how much it is, it's honestly pretty minimal. I don't have any trouble getting up to highway speeds or having to step on it when I need to. It's very responsive still, regardless of the tire size that it went up. And in terms of the speedometer, it's only like a 1 mile per 2 mile per hour difference from stock. So it's not enough to warrant me messing with that calibration system that I'm assuming is quite expensive.
Okay, so finally, we're gonna talk about suspension a little bit here. So you've got the Rough Country 3-inch suspension lift kit with the lifted N3 struts and the Rough Country forged upper control arms for the 3.5-inch lift. Why did you choose this lift kit in particular?
So like I've mentioned at the start, based a lot of the price. So as a college student, price is a really big factor in building your truck or building anything for that matter. So this 3-inch lift, it was hard scouring the forums and looking for people with setups at a 3-inch lift because I didn't want to cut my frame. It was hard looking for a kit I could piece together, and here is Rough Country with a 3-inch lift that they offer in a strut. I've done blocks before, and personally, if you have the money for a strut, I would go strut. Way better ride quality, you'll get more out of it in off-road, regardless of the brand. It'll perform better. With a 3-inch lift, if anybody is looking to do a 3-inch lift, I would definitely advise messing with your drive shaft. Since we have 2-piece drive shafts, I would definitely put a little spacer on there if you feel vibrations. If you don't feel vibrations, it's better not to mess with it at all. Definitely with the forged upper control arms. So these shocks that I put on there, the 3-inch shocks, they put my stock upper control arm angle at a really bad angle for the ball joint. It was kind of like a no-brainer for me to switch out those control arms as well, since I wanted correct alignment for those brand new tires I had just bought. Those control arms are rated for a 3.5-inch lift, and I have a 3-inch lift, and a lot of people were like, that's not going to really work. But I ran that setup for close to a year now, and I've never had any bad alignment issues, and it worked just fine. I got more travel out of it. I didn't struggle to install them at all. I had a shop do it for me, and they did a good job. I would recommend the kit, definitely.
Why did you go with a 3-inch lift? Is that just because of limited funds? Like you didn't want to shell out tons of cash for anything larger, or you just didn't want to go, make it super unpractical on the road? You're just looking for the balance, or?
So I wanted to keep that nice daily driving with the whole 3-inch lift, keeping it like simple, not going overboard with it. I had a 2-inch lift on a previous truck in the past, and I liked the look of the lifted truck, and I wanted a little bit more without really cutting my frame, because with those bigger 4 or 6-inch lifts, you need to cut your cross member, and I really didn't want to get into that. So this 3-inch lift was definitely the way to go for me.
You do have any fitment issues or any rubbing at full lock, anything like that with the setup, how it sits?
Oh no, I've never had any rubbing, and a lot of Tacoma owners out there, they say that once you lift your truck and put 33s on, you have to get rid of the mud flaps. I kept mine, and I still don't rub on them. I would stand behind this wheel and tire setup saying that in the suspension setup that it will clear 33s without cutting at all.
Do you like the way it looks? Like when you step back from your truck, are you like, that looks great?
Oh yeah, it gives it a really nice leveled look. When you're looking at it, it looks stock, just raced up. So this kit really does look like that when you look at it from afar. So it definitely makes it look more aggressive, like I've said, and I just love the way it looks, honestly.
Well, that's just about everything. I think we covered it all. That was Uli with his 2021 Toyota Tacoma SR with the 17 by 8.5 Dirty Life cages in matte black with a -6mm offset. And that means we're looking at an aggressive stance. 285/70 R17 Falken Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain 33-inch tires. And the suspension for that is going to be the Rough Country 3-inch suspension lift kit with the lifted N3 struts and the Rough Country forged upper control arms for the 3.5-inch lift. I'm Noah from Extreme Terrain. We have everything you need for any of your off-road builds here at extremeterrain.com. Have a good rest of the day.